It's been really nice to get a tour of it, but a little bit more in terms of oh, who you are. You want to share with us who you are and what you do and what how you came into homeschooling. Can
Sure.
you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about yourself?
I started homeschooling back in the 90s, and my children are 26 and 28 now, so I've been done for a little while. And this is what led to me starting the store in the first place. At the time, there was very little available to actually look at curriculum. You would order catalogs through the mail. The internet really wasn't a thing at the time. Once a year, we could go to the convention, and there was homeschooling magazines that did reviews. That was really it. So you really couldn't see much. And the group I was in at the time, in my church, there was a lot of new homeschooling families, but they were all new. We were all newbies, and none of us knew anything. So it was just frustrating. I would order things through the catalogs and get them, and realize that if I had seen them ahead of time, I would have known right away this wasn't going to work for what we were doing. So somehow, because of that going through my mind, and then I came across an advertisement for a store like this in Washington State, and I called them, and they helped me set up a store. So my first store was in Indiana back in 1998, and that was my goal, was for people to be able to come in and look at stuff before they're buying it, so they have more of an idea if this something was going to work. My other goal too was, there's all this material then that once you're done with it, what do you do with it? So it was a chance to kind of recycle it through the homeschooling community. So that was my vision in the beginning, why I wanted to have a store. And it happened that I may have been a book hoarder and love books, and I was getting into the homeschooling, but it was a real journey in the beginning, because my oldest was 4, and I was just starting everything, so I knew nothing, and it was wonderful and exciting to learn as I went along. Luckily, back in the 90s, there was a lot less to learn than there is now. So this is our math section. Just a quick tour through. We have Math You See, teaching textbooks, Life of Fred, Saxon, Bob Jones, Horizons, Abeka. This whole wall is math manipulatives. So these are manipulatives. Some programs use manipulatives for a hands-on learning approach. So over here they're divided mostly by topic, so addition and subtraction, and then there's items to use for help for those skills, flashcards, specific books on those type of things, multiplication, division, fractions and decimals. Then we have all sorts of, Saxon's a big one to use for manipulatives, but attribute blocks, linking cubes, color tiles, pattern blocks, then anything to do with time and money, counters. Great for kiddos that need to touch things to learn math.
So this is your fourth homeschooling.
This is my
store.
fourth store.
Tell us a little bit.
Well, I had the one in Indiana. We were there for several years. My husband, his job kept moving, which is why we have had a few. And then we went to South Carolina. So the one in Indiana was the Northern Indiana Curriculum Exchange. That was called NICE, and I was the NICE lady. And then we moved to South Carolina and had the curriculum exchange there. I wasn't very original with my names. And then we moved to Pennsylvania, and I opened a store in the eastern part of the state in Pottstown for several years, and I was commuting out there because I have connections to that area, and I opened this store simultaneously. So I did eventually close that one after a couple of years because the commute. But so this one, I've actually been here for 18 years now. But I have been in the business since 98, so 23 years altogether. Here we are in science. The big names for science publishers, the most popular ones, we have J. Wiles Berean, Answers in Genesis, God's Design Series, Apologia, probably the most popular one that there is right now, Abeka and Bob Jones. Also have a ton of science equipment. These are chemicals, everything for biology, physics, chemistry, all sold by the piece, and then also lab kits that are put together for the high school sciences. And then up here, all of this and this are lab kits for younger kids.
So can you tell me a little bit about consignment, books consignment? How does that work?
Okay, sure. That's the whole thing with the exchange in the name. That's the point, is to keep the stuff cycling around, and homeschoolers can save money. So all you have to do is bring in your books, current edition homeschool brand curriculum, classic reading books, science equipment, manipulatives, anything you've seen that's in here, pretty much I take, and you just leave it. That's all you have to do. You get 50% of what it sells for. I mail out checks once a year, but anytime you come in the store, you can get whatever you have accumulated up to that point in cash. And some people just leave it on their account so that every time they come in, they can just apply it to whatever they're purchasing. Best thing ever is to watch children's faces when you're at checkout and their mom buys all these books and I hand her money at the end because they have money on their account. It's funny because they think they come in here to get kids think they're getting money. Yeah. So it really works, and it's not a perfect system because things get updated and new editions come out all the time. But it does get a chance for you to get some money back for items that you purchased already, and then you're not paying as much. Yeah. All of my consignments I sell for at least 40% off of retail, so you get a big savings on them purchasing something that's pre-owned. In this alcove, it's mostly foreign language. We have a lot of Spanish, French, a whole bookcase of Latin. This is all sign language. And then we also have little sections for German, Chinese, Hebrew, Greek, and for the very brave, we have Croatian. On this side is Abeka's language arts. They're reading, spelling, anything to do with language arts. Grammar is all on this wall here.
This is wonderful because you hear clothing consignment now. It is book consignment. Yeah. You know.
And we're a lot less, I have to say, we're a lot less clothing consignment. The stores I've been in are very picky about, how long they'll let things sit on the shelf. Usually it's a month or two. Then they start charging you rent. When I set up my consignment policies, I did it all with the idea of how do I want to be treated. So there's no deadline on how long a book can stay on the shelf as long as it's current. Once it's not current, then it automatically gets moved back to my bargain section. That's what that bargain section it gets. That's why that's there. That's why that developed. So there's no lifespan on it. It doesn't. I don't charge rent at some point for a book. You can get, if your book is still on the shelf and you need it back, or your best friend suddenly decides she wants it, you just come in and get it. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cost you anything. So I try to have all my policies ones that I would like to experience myself. Okay, and here, this is all of our Sunlight, and Pathway readers happen to be down there. Charlotte Mason, very popular. So we have Sandy Queen, Simply Charlotte Mason, Classical Conversations. This is All My Father's World, Heart of Dakota, Beautiful Feet, Konos, Trail Guide, Tapestry of Grace. And over here we start with our electives, anything from industrial arts, technical arts for high school, keyboarding, computing, and then we have home ec, driving, financial stuff. I have some lap booking stuff over here. And the corner where you can't see right here, this is all my, for little guys, this is my early education, hands-on phonics stuff back here.
So, thank you so much for sharing that. Is it possible for you to just share a little bit about your general differences in curriculum types to suit different teaching styles and goals and learning types?
Yeah, very generally. It's just with homeschool curriculum, there's, especially now as the years have gone by, there's so much available. And this is why I really want people to come in and just sit and look. I don't care if you buy anything. Sit and look and compare things side by side. Because as a teacher, as the parent doing the teaching, you're going to prefer one thing over another, and what fits with your teaching style. Do you want to be more involved as the parent, or do you need this child to really do it on their own? Some kids are better doing that. Whatever. There's a variety of issues that come up with teaching styles, and so there's a variety of curriculums that will suit the different teaching styles. Then on the other hand, there's the learning styles of the children. So you have curriculums that are more hands-on, like we were showing the manipulatives in the math section. Some children just really need to learn through their hands. I had one of those. Every single subject had to be taught through her hands in some way or another. It's a challenge, but there's variety now. You can choose from. And some you can just read it and get it right away. So there's a bunch of different learning styles, and you can choose from. Some kids that are very academic might want a curriculum that's challenging and intense, and some children who are not as academic but they need to learn what they need to learn, then there's a gentler way of learning things. It's not so intense, and so that's what that variety is that's available. And one of the benefits nowadays is there is just so much available that compare and contrast and see. It's not a guarantee you're going to pick the right thing the first time, because until you actually sit down and start working with your child, that's when you start learning, you know, what you need more. But it certainly can narrow down your choices.
Yeah.
All right, this is history and geography section. It's a large section. We'll start over here. This is Bob Jones and Abeka. This is all geography in here, a variety of, there's games, and Geography Matters is one of the companies, Atlas is that kind of thing. Here is Diana Waring's Answers in Genesis History, Story of the World. And then in here we have sections. We have a section of U.S. history, a section of world history. Also includes Mystery of History, Christian Liberty Press, Bright Ideas Press, Joy Hakam's A History of Us. Timelines are in here. And then the one really neat area is the history by topic. So I have a section on pilgrims, colonial America, American Revolution, westward expansion. We have ancient civilizations, Greece, Rome, medieval, knights, castles, that kind of thing. Out here, this is economics, and then this is all Civil War. And then around the corner there is Knotgrass history.
Yeah. So what are your store hours?
We're open during the summer is my busy season, and it's a very busy season. So it's definitely a bigger time during the summer. That's 4 days a week. Year round, I'm open Tuesday and Wednesday from noon to 4, and then that will hold through the summer. And then I add days on in the summer. It changes depending on how the volume seems, but I'm usually open 4 days. So I'll add usually a Friday, Saturday, something else in there. And then I always take appointments. I know during the year, with only being open the 2 days, it's not convenient for everybody. I don't have enough business to be open more days than that, but I'm happy to take appointments. I live right next to the store, so it's an easy thing to do. This section is mostly readers. On the far side here, these couple of bookcases are series, like Boxcar Children, American Girl, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Magic Tree House, that kind of thing. These are little kid classics. And then the 3 bookcases here are classics that are used with curriculums such as Sunlight, My Father's World, Heart of Dakota, Knotgrass, that kind of thing. And they're all alphabetized by title. Over here there are special, like I have a Greek and Roman reader, or Roman readers, Bethlehem books. Then all of my master books are here. They don't really fit with readers. This is just where they are. Then here is Shakespeare and Twain and Austen, because they had a lot of books per title. And then around the corner there are biographies. They're divided by historical and Christian biographies.
So do you go on book tours with your books, like to conventions and other places?
No. I did in the beginning. I have about 40,000 books here. To carry that, it's a lot. And it really, I discovered after doing it 3 or 4 times, it's really not what I'm about. I'm not about getting out there and selling my books.
Right.
My idea is for people, I am the bricks and mortar. I'm really doing stuff online. There's plenty of other places you can buy books online. This is for people to come in and sit down. That is just what my passion is. And to look and to be able to see what they want. So that's the niche I'm trying to fill. I'm not really trying to compete with the conventions or with, like I said, what's online.
That is very important, because I remember when my children were growing up, it was very important for me to physically see the book and leaf through it, because I know what I was looking for inside and what I wanted to teach, and was it easy for me to be able to feel comfortable with the book to teach it to them. So this is a very good idea to have people come in, and even if it's by appointment as well.
And that's what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to help them be successful.
Yes.
And until you can look and really look at it, especially if you're a new homeschooler, you just have no idea until you can sit. And it can be overwhelming at first to see 10 different things presented to you. But it's not just a shot in the dark when you're ordering something online. You know, you can really look at it and see if it appeals. And some people, this works with some kids and not with others. It works to bring your child in to let them help with the decision. Like I said, in some cases this works because then they kind of take ownership of it if they helped to choose it. Again, you have to know your child to know if that's a good idea or not. But it's, you know, with some kids that are more reluctant, if they help to pick out the book, then they might be more, like I say, just claim it as their own and be happy to do it. This is our most recent addition. We call it the Book Barn, which is built 2 years ago now, so it's new to us because we overflowed the store. So come on inside. So inside the Book Barn, You always look for these signs. This is my bargain bookshelf. So from this point onward to the other side at about the same place, all of the books are $1 or less. They are divided by subject. So these are all history books for $1, science books, math, and then over there I have a section of older edition Bob Jones, older edition Abeka, language arts, homeschool helps, everything's $1. So that's from these signs on. Going forward here, we have Christian Light Education, that's on both sides. ACE is down here. Rod and Staff has these 3 bookcases. Alpha Omega is this one, and up front here, and right behind the camera is all my games. Okay, on the other side of the book barn now, we were over there, we came over here. Now here's my blue sign, so everything back here is $1. This includes, I forgot to mention, a whole bunch of readers too. Little kid readers, high school readers, even some adult novels and things like that. Again, everything's $1. Then coming forward to that, this is all my music section. This is art, these 2 bookcases. I also have office supplies, some craft supplies, things like magnetic calendars, kind of everything else then is over here.
Well, Julie, it's been a joy speaking with you.
Well, thank you.
Having a look of your reading room here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come out and look. That's
Yes.
it's a joy to me to have
Yes.
people be able to see what it is. And
Yeah.
and like I said, I would love for people to come out and just investigate. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not. I don't care if you buy stuff. I just want you to see what's available.
Come
And
and see.
that's
read.
my heart. And this is a business, but it feels like a ministry to me too. That I really
Right.
want to help people be successful in educating their children at
Yes.
home.
Yes. 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 Thank you once again
Thank you.
very much.